Portrait 5 is the nose, and here's how we construct the nose. The most important shape kind of dominates our thinking about the nose is a pyramid shape like this. And that gives us our lighting. To try to get the nose more naturalistic, this is obviously just what lies in our minds when we think about noses, but to get the nose to be more realistic, what we need to do is we'll start with a pyramid underlying it. Okay, but now up at the top of the nose, up in here, what you'll find is that there's a shape like this. And the way that it interacts with the brow is really incredibly cool. So it doesn't come to a point like that. It really has this happening. And then at the end of the nose, we like to think of it as a ball, and like a real ball, like the ball of the nose, okay? And this portion of the nose is really squared off. And then you move into the nostrils, which can be thought of as a cylinder passing through. And then the nostrils, when you see into them, is like that. And they curl around. This will darken. That will darken. And we can shade this now, understanding the cylinder, understanding that this is a pyramid. Again, if the light is coming from above, and this shading is the shading that would occur on a sphere right here. Okay, and as you come around, you have this little side plane right in there until you get onto the nostril. And this rounds over generally. And there'll be a darkness behind that. Over here, this side is going to be in light, so the light is coming from this direction. So this here. Now, this really spreads out on a person's face like that. And so as you come over, coming around. And that's our nose. And then another thing to know is that the nose will very frequently cast a shadow on the face. This would be a super long shadow. Okay, so here you'd be casting a shadow. This one would be casting a shadow this way. Okay, and now we'll start to put some noses on some faces. So remember the basic shapes. I guess you can just go back into this, but just for a quick review, have the cylinder passing through. You have a big ball here. Okay. You have a squared off section here and a kind of a U up there. And the nose flares out inside of there. Nostril, nostril. Okay? So there's our ingredients. Okay? And now I'm going to give us another page to practice. Another page, we'll go through each of them. We'll put them on the heads. Okay, so starting looking straight on. Center line. Here, beginning the nose, you start out with that U right up in there. And you see how it's mounted on the underside here. Look at, we can shade this around. And then here's the bottom of our pyramid. Here are the sides. The ball through there. And the cylinder of the nostrils as it passes through. Here's the cylinder of the nostrils as it passes through, creating a side plane and a side plane. In this instance, I'm going to light it from above. Flattening of the top and this widening out on the sides. See how the light is coming down and catching all the upward facing planes? Okay, let's do a couple more of these. 3/4. When the view gets more complicated, I really like to use a center line. Here's that horseshoe shape, and then here's the bottom of the nose. This time it's going to project upwards. Look at, there's the top line of the nose. It's in a complicated view like this that having your pyramid shape remembered can really be useful. To come over to the other side. Okay, so here's the shape of our nose. Let's shade in the top plane, because that will describe a great deal of the form. Okay, so in here, the nostril, the cylinder which passes through, generally a side plane there, downward facing plane here. Here's our downward facing planes. And that would be rounded up front, a ball. And that's where your nostril turns up. Okay, portrait. Okay, and the horseshoe shape would be up in there, but it's in portrait, so you're not going to see it. Now this is a very informative view because you can see the nose's real relationship to the brow. There's a ball at the end of the nose. Recall the pyramid shape. The cylinder that passes through. Here's the underside. Side plane. Widening out. Side plane. Flattening onto the top. Okay, and that's all I want to do for the nose for right now. We might come back and do the other two, but I'm starting to feel like this is enough. Okay?